The web is still the only platform that a brand can have total design control over and tell their story to the best of its ability.
This is Velocitize Talks, and I'm Lauren Cox. Today I'm here with Aaron Meredith, co-founder and director of Malt. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Lauren.
So I'm going to start the interview with a quick question. Give me a little bit of details on Malt, what you guys do, and then also what you've been doing in your growth path for the last decade.
Yeah, so Studio Malt, we're a design and web development agency based out in Melbourne, Australia, Collingwood. And we obviously produce comprehensive strategy and, I suppose, user-generated backed brand, print, and digital strategy. So we play predominantly in the visual game and executing across loads of different mediums. But I really think that our wheelhouse really comes back down to that website of things. We've been around for 15 years now, and we cater for a range of different industries across the board, from pharmaceutical to industrial. You name it, we've probably had some level of influence in that particular space.
Yeah.
And we've seen growth really in offering that comprehensive solution. It's turnkey across the board, it's end-to-end, and it's really guided as well. So our ideal client would be someone that comes to us from a strategic brand point of view. Yeah. We get to then do all the great stuff in terms of user personas and journeys and getting to understand and live and breathe that client's day-to-day for a period of time.
Yeah.
And then beautifully execute that across a range of different mediums and continue the relationship as well. Obviously, when we deploy and build out their quality web applications and support and maintain that for years to come.
Yeah, awesome. So what makes Malt different from its competitors?
I think that in the fact that we offer that, again, comprehensive solution. We really get to understand our client. We're nimble, we're agile, and we are small as well in terms of our team size. So we can spend much more time on being really selective over what clients that we want to work with. We have a philosophy and we call it a good energy as well. And they're clients that really, that we sort of connect with, not just on terms of on project work, but a great value system, great morals and great ethics as well.
So prior to using WP Engine, Malt used a different solution for WordPress hosting. Can you tell me why you changed to WP Engine? Yeah,
great question. We obviously used a range of different providers' solutions in the past. And I think that brought a level of complexity and maybe even a level of misunderstanding. Our development team internally was yearning for a solution that was uncompromised and delivered support, performance, security, and scalability. And from Studio Malt's point of view, it was very hard to find a service provider like that, not just locally, but internationally. 7 years ago, WP Engine came across our desk and we haven't really turned back. From the fact that we were offering different solutions and different providers made it really hard for us. But again, bringing that all together under the WP Engine banner has really offered our developers the support that they need to produce, obviously, really quality web applications.
Yeah.
And our clients really, again, just use us as the one-stop shop. They don't need to think about who's hosting their site. They just know that they're on the world's best.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about the reselling model that you have with your clients and how you bundle maintenance, hosting, and that type of services together?
Yeah, absolutely. So our service is comprehensive. As I said earlier on, it's ultimately really end to end. And our clients really see us as that single point of contact for really anything to do with their web application. That being from maintaining or updating the WordPress core or plugins or a range of different components there, through to the infrastructure layer as well. And for us, it really was a no-brainer to bundle that service really in as one sort of model. We tier it, so we obviously find the right solutions to the right clients at a range of different price points. We also make it really flexible as well. So we have particular clients that are on service or support and maintenance agreements, but they may not need infrastructure support because they've got some level of server ops internally, versus others that may have an internal web producer or maybe working in marketing. Yeah. They may not need the support and maintenance model at all, but every client has some level of differentiation that we can ultimately support. And by tiering and bundling that product again, we remain that central point of contact for those clients. We just find it's the easiest model.
Yeah. What advice would you give to agencies that are thinking about doing that for their client base?
It's really important to really be talking about the infrastructure, support and maintenance from the scoping stage of an actual project. Find a little bit more about what type of resources are available at the client's end, ultimately, to understand that when you deliver the project, what type of support and maintenance can they offer internally. Really run a really thorough checklist, obviously, for yourself as well. Get to understand the certification requirements around infrastructure that the client may or may not require. Understand how performance plays an integral part to that from a client perspective, and understand as well scalability, because these are questions that are going to come up throughout the life journey of the client to agency relationship. And we want to make sure that we are delivering the best holistic end-to-end solution ultimately when it comes to it.
Yeah. Do you find that you retain your clients longer because of some of the packages and maintenance that you put together?
It's an absolute no-brainer from our point of view that we obviously extend that entire project life cycle beyond the go-live days. Again, you build the trust with the client ultimately through the project delivery phase. And again, a lot of that is really understanding and living and breathing the client's needs and attributes for a really short period of time. But then because you've built that relationship with the client, ultimately you're the number one person that they call when something goes wrong, or they need assistance, or they've got a great new idea. We tend to be that first point of contact. And I think by offering really comprehensive maintenance and support, you maintain a direct line with the client. So the next opportunity that comes in, it might be revamping or recreating the website or extending the application accordingly. You're generally the first person that they're ultimately calling. No need to tender out, no need to go through all the rigmarole of that again. You've already got a really great client that's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. A core strength at Malt is UX and UI and user experience design. So how do you successfully integrate human-centered design and personalization to create a really great experience for the end user?
It's a great question, and it's something that comes up all the time when we're having initial conversations around UI, UX, and CX with a lot of our clientele. And it really comes down to, again, strategy-led, research-backed design approach that we obviously undertake at Studio Malt. We talk to the client's customers. We understand the client's needs. We obviously run a range of stakeholder engagement sessions throughout the initial phases of any project to really understand what fundamentals that client needs to build into their website application. And then we obviously execute that across really powerful UI that is considered. It's considered from lots of different angles, from obviously mobile responsiveness to make sure that we are designing to the right device, all the way through to accessibility. And that's really, really critical, especially in the modern tech stack. It's really important to consider those accessibility factors accordingly. Once we've obviously undertaken a lot of our stakeholder engagement, user persona designs, we obviously test again. We obviously run a range of tests throughout the duration of the design phase, where we're obviously conceptualizing mock-ups through to prototyping the actual design and testing that with real stakeholders that are going to be engaging with the product when we obviously deliver. Then when our web developers are ultimately building the product as well, we are also engaging with our clients to continuously test, for then obviously us to then go ahead and launch, again, the most appropriate product that is designed for that particular user. However, the way that users engage with web is continuously evolving and changing. And for us, we really want to maintain that relationship to continuously enhance the final web application to make sure that it remains the most human-centric designed application possible.
Yeah. So could you give me an example of a customer that you've worked with recently that you've used WordPress for to build like a really great experience?
Yeah, so we recently worked with a non-for-profit organisation called Crohn's and Colitis Australia. And we really built a really modern WordPress application in terms of the fact that they had quite an elderly audience. And, obviously IBD sufferers that this website is obviously tailored for require certain usability examples to continue their journey to find the right information to them. So we obviously utilize WordPress, or the modern stack of WordPress, to really build a comprehensive solution that was really story-backed. And what I mean by story-backed is that it's really content heavy, and we want to guide those users through that journey. There really is no lead gen. There really is no e-commerce. It's just providing a really great content that's going to actually change users' lives.
So there are people out there that have talked about the demise of the website in future years.
Yes.
Can you tell me your perspective on how websites should remain relevant?
The demise of the website. It's been a conversation that's been going on for many, many years now, and in my opinion, it's completely over-exaggerated. The web is still the only platform that a brand can have total design control over and tell their story to the best of its ability. As much as social media channels and other marketing platforms exist out there, they are walled gardens. They don't give brands total control. And I do believe that there is no movability in the web. The website is going to always remain an integral part of any digital strategy. And I think it comes down to a few fundamentals. Unfortunately, Google's not going anywhere. And search engine optimization is still a really key consideration for any digital marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Search engine optimization works when you've got a really powerful narrative-driven website. The other thing that obviously a lot of brands are taking into consideration in this day and age is security. And there's no knowing where data is going to be transferred to and from on platforms that brands do not control.
Yeah.
And again, tying obviously back to WP Engine's perspective, with industry-leading products such as global enterprise security backed by Cloudflare, we can actually guarantee data integrity at all levels to our clients.
Yeah. Excellent. So what advice would you give to a customer with the economic outlook across the globe, isn't the best at the moment? It's rising, but it's not the best at the moment. What would you give advice to your customers and clients to spend their marketing dollars to make them go as far as they can for the best ROI?
Yeah. I think invest into stories. Tell the best stories on your platform of choice. Obviously for us, it's going to be websites, but generate really personalized content that's going to be engaging to your target audience, ultimately. Content's king. It's always been the case. However, in the past, I don't believe that a lot of clients have had really great places to tell that story. And there are so many different channels in the modern digital stack that a lot of clients can ultimately utilize. Websites are the primary part of that particular journey. My advice to any agency that would be advising clients is to continue to generate really unique content that is not AI generated, that tells a story of a brand, that's engaging to your users, and to make sure that content sings across a multi-channel strategy.
You mentioned AI before. And I was wondering, what warning would you give your clients in using AI on their website?
What I would recommend our clients ultimately do is utilize AI as a really great starting point. It's an ability to create a mood board, a vision, a narrative, without really knowing where to start. However, one thing that AI doesn't have a really great ability to do so right now is to make sure that it encompasses your brand manifestos, your brand ethos, the values, the mission, the vision of what you're trying to ultimately achieve. AI is really a great starting point. However, it should never be utilized across obviously final application content, especially in a commercial world, right, where you might be making money off essentially an AI-driven exercise. So use it as a really great starting point and adapt accordingly to produce, again, really great, rich content that's going to tell your brand story.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I love to finish an interview with a question.
Absolutely.
What gets you inspired? What gets you up in the morning? What gets you pumped for work?
A Melbourne coffee would be the first place to start with. No, I think in terms of, we've been around, as I said earlier on, for 15 years now, and we've allowed our clients to live and breathe a life that they may not have been able to do so, I think, without the guidance and support that myself and my team have ultimately offered those particular clients. So I think that why I do what I do and why I get up every single day is for their successes, ultimately. There's nothing more exciting about being a part of the journey of a brand from the moment that they go live to the moment that they make their first sale or capture that first lead, to the moment that they sell $1 million worth of product.
Yeah.
So I think that being a part of that journey and continuing to have that relationship with all of our clients is, again, why we do what we do. It's their success is our success.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thanks, Aaron. This is Velocitize Talks. I'm Lauren Cox, and that was Aaron Meredith, co-founder and director of Malt. Thank you.
Thank you.